Hello again, everybody. Todd Michael Putnam here with D&D Creative Table Designs, bringing you another adventure for your role-playing games. This one here is Greywater Port. Greywater Port. It's kind of almost like a shantytown type of port. Pretty seedy. Not outright pirates, but certainly smugglers and people that are less than savory types. It's sort of like on that quasi borderline edge. It's not in the super wildlands, but at the same time, it certainly doesn't have the best reputation as a great place. If you were looking for any kind of illicit goods or things like that, and you weren't already steeped in the underworld or of crime and stuff, you'd probably come to a place like Greywater Port on one of the ships and see if you could find whatever it was that you were looking for. And as far as the role playing opportunities at adventure, the first would be if they were coming in on the ship, which would be the most likely way they would get here. Assuming they were part of the crew, out on the docks itself, probably they would be tasked to be provisioners or to go out and to sell the goods that their ship had already gotten, and to procure supplies. So you've got lots of role-playing potential right there to talk to the dock master or any of the little tents that are set up here for selling stuff for various supplies, whether they be potions or rations or rope or whatever it is that the ships might need. And so there'd be plenty of role play options to try and work through and get the set prices, not be ripped off. There'd certainly be plenty of opportunity for anybody suspecting that the players, if they were new at this, that they might try and rip them off and sell them subpar goods or some kind of a scam to try and get money out of them. And certainly there's an opportunity for fights to break out on the docks itself. This is not a super on the up and up town, and so it's not unheard of for things to get rough on the docks themselves. As you go further into town and they want to get some other things, there's of course a blacksmith shop that's there. There is a rather a large merchant type shop that has a great deal of supplies. There's a small tavern that's back there that they can go into and get a drink at. There's a bit of a brothel house that's over here where people can go and get their entertainment as they were from their long time at the sea. And there's kind of a thing that says don't go past the blue wall. And the way that I set this up is this particular thing here. Things get rough after the blue wall. You see that particular house has blue paint on it, and then these two in a row, this larger merchant one and this smaller tavern type thing, that's kind of like a little bit of a blue wall. And after you go past the blue wall, things get a lot less civilized very quickly. It's like once you get past there, pretty much all of the veneer of civilization just kind of fades away very rapidly. And so if they wanted to go to, say, a soothsayer or somebody like that, I've got this right here, which is this kind of creepy looking house with the symbol on it there. That's where I would have a soothsayer and anything that they would need if they needed certain types of odd potions or curses removed, perhaps, or if they needed an oracle or omens of some kind. Anything of that nature, they would probably want to go to that house and have to deal with her, the crazy witch cat lady type situation. And you can have all kinds of role play going on with that. And she would probably have demands as well. One of the demands that I would probably put in there, suggestion would be, on the other part of town, there's the Black Rat gang, and they kind of run this portion of the town it's all basically shanties and run down houses, and it's just not high quality stuff at all. It's basically totally disheveled and no pretense of taking care of it whatsoever. And the Black Rats are kind of there. They run their thuggery from out of that area, and they may have stolen something from her, or she may be aware that they have gained something that she wants or needs, and she's certainly not going to risk herself, and so she could send the characters into that area of the town and deal with the thugs and see if could they try and attempt to become part of the gang and win their loyalty and possibly earn their way up the ranks and through that trust be able to get the stuff that they're looking for, or do they want to just negotiate and do an outright deal? They may need something themselves. Instead of themselves pulling off a heist, they may send the characters over to a rival ship, for example, that they have to break into that has goods that they're looking for, and if they can steal the stuff from the rival ship that they're looking for, and maybe under cover of darkness, and then bring it back to the Black Rats, then the Black Rats might be willing to give the players the thing that they're looking for on behalf of the Oracle, and then the Oracle can give them, or be willing to give them the information or the remove curse or whatever they need. So it's just kind of it's an opportunity for lots of role play and deal making, but also plenty of combat as well if that's the route that they choose. And that's kind of the idea behind Greywater. Some of my choices that I made in this particular case, like I said, simply because I happened to have three houses that had some blue in them, I thought that's an idea of a way to separate the I wouldn't call it the good part of town, but the more reasonable part of town from the shanty town is just having these blue houses, kind of like almost like a bit of a wall that once you go past that, things rapidly become disheveled. And of course, you got her kind of off by herself. She's kind of halfway between the two. She's right at the corner of the blue wall, which is kind of lets you know that it's a little bit scary, that there's problems there, that there's stuff going on, that may not necessarily be safe, but at the same time, she's not super far back in either. So it's sort of a half and half. And then for the aesthetics of it, what I did was I took a lot of my greenery, both from Dwarven Forge for some of the trees, and also from Monster Fight Club from their bushes and stuff. And I put the greenery mostly up in the front part of the town. And then as you go back further, you'll see right at the line here, I started putting like some of the autumn type trees, looking like they're less cared for. The autumn type bushes, the ones that I had repainted, the ones from Monster Fight Club autumn bushes that they have in their Kickstarter haven't yet been released. So I just made my own. I repainted some of the regular ones. I had them repainted so I could have my own. But that kind of is another way of saying, in addition to the shanties and stuff that I have, it's another way of saying that this portion of town is different. It's more run down. It's not as well taken care of. Nobody's pruning the trees. Nobody's taking care of them. So you'll see like I have, a dead tree here. And of course I've got a building that's got, repair work on it. I found a bunch of shantytown type buildings on eBay. They're 3D prints. So I got some of those painted up and, brought in and painted up. And those look great for, this type of the town. I took my broken watchtower, and I set that in there. This here is like supposed to be a wood mill, but I had it painted up with like some of the slightly different colored boards and stuff on it. So it looks a little dredgedy, a little crappy, not nearly as well kept up. Same thing with this one here. This is the one that's got some different colored boards on it. So it's just trying to portray that it's ramshackle and not as good. Throw that in there with like the scraggly tree from Dwarven Forge, and then some of these guys here, and you kind of get a different aesthetic. You can feel it gives the players a feeling as they move from one area of the town to the other, what the people there are like, and what that portion of the town is like, for the way people live and how things are treated, what the value of things and of course of life is going from one section to the other. It's not great in the first part of town, but you can imagine very quickly as you get back here and you see the houses and the condition they are, and the trees and the shrubbery and stuff being unkempt and dying or not well taken care of, certainly not manicured in any way, shape, or form, and the leaves falling off. That life and everything else in this section of the town is certainly considered much cheaper, and it just helps to tell the story if you have those options, if you have those opportunities to put those kind of things in there. That's what I did in order to just help convey with less words and more just visual input what it is. And then other simple stuff here, like I just took Monster Fight Club. They have their little pond thing, so I threw that in the middle. So there's some people that are feeding the ducks or whatever it is, and going around the pond or getting water for their houses. And there's some slightly nicer houses over here. This one here could be like an actual reputable wizard in a tower as well, or it could be an alchemist, something like that, if you want to put that in there. And that's a general idea behind Greywater. The other thing that I did, instead of using my regular ocean mat, I have another ocean mat, or I should say another water mat, that it's very shallow water. You can kind of see from here that there's more, like, underneath the surface, there's more ridges. It just doesn't look super clean. And that's just the idea, to help portray this port as maybe not being the greatest port that there is. It's not like the big clean ocean water that's right there, that even the water surrounding, Greywater Port is just is a little subpar, is a little less than optimal, and it's certainly not a vacation spot. It's more of a rundown type place, and you can expect the people to be a little bit rougher for it. So that's the idea of Greywater Port, and that's some of the role playing possibilities and encounter possibilities that you can have in here, and for exploration. And I just wanted to lay that out there, and by all means, looking forward to your feedback. Let me know what you think, and looking forward to producing more adventure terrain videos for you guys. Appreciate you taking the time to watch. Please leave your comments and subscribe, and I'll see you next adventure. Take care. Bye.